Okay, so online real estate auctions, huh? They're really something else.
Yeah, they're really interesting.
We're diving deep today with some info from Adam over at Allies Commercial Realty.
He's got a great blog post.
It's a really awesome blog post. Lays it all out. And, this is something that's, I think a lot of people are curious about how it works, what it all means, especially in today's market.
And it's been around a lot longer than people think.
It really has. Yeah, I mean, it goes way back.
Way back.
Adam mentions, ancient Greece using auctions for, get this, marriages.
Imagine that, bidding on a spouse.
I know, right? Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
My dating app anxiety is through the roof just thinking about it.
Yeah.
But really the point is that this goes back centuries.
It does, yeah.
To ancient Rome even. They had their version of foreclosure sales. And get this, the very first official auction house, 1674, Sweden.
In Sweden?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who knew?
I did not know that.
Right. But then it was really the 2008 housing crisis that kind of gave this whole online real estate auction thing a big push forward.
It really brought it to the forefront, yeah.
Yeah, it offered a new way to buy and sell properties, right?
Exactly.
And so now you've got platforms like Habzu.com,
Auction.com.
others popping up, each one specializing in different types of properties.
Yeah, that's really important to remember. It's not one size fits all.
It's like finding the right tool for the job.
100%, yeah. You want a foreclosed property? Boom. There's a platform for that. You want a big multi-million-dollar commercial building? There's a platform for that too.
So step one is knowing where to look.
Exactly.
Okay, so you found your platform.
Right.
You're browsing listings. You're picturing yourself in that corner office with the view, maybe.
View, yeah.
But hold on a second.
Not so fast.
Adam says there's a really important step before you start throwing bids around.
Yeah.
Pre-bidding assessment.
Yeah, you don't want to just buy this stuff sight unseen, right?
This isn't like ordering takeout. This is a big decision.
No.
So
this is where due diligence comes in.
Due diligence. What does that even mean in this context?
So it's like you're not going to buy a car without taking it for a test drive.
Right.
You're not going to, not get a mechanic to look under the hood. It's the same thing here. Right?
I hear you. I once bought this vintage record player
Uh-huh.
based purely on how it looked. Online, obviously.
Okay.
Big mistake.
Yeah. How'd that work out?
Let's just say the sound quality was more haunted house than classic vinyl.
Right. So those virtual tours, those high-res photos.
Yeah, they're very compelling.
They're great. Maybe even some VR walkthrough.
Dantes.
It's super cool.
It's not the real thing.
Not the real thing. You gotta kick the tires a little bit.
You can't smell a leaky roof through a computer screen.
Exactly.
Right.
That's right.
What's Adam say about this?
Well, he talks about...
He says, due diligence is not just about verifying the information provided, but uncovering potential issues that might not be immediately apparent.
Yeah, there might be some stuff lurking under the surface.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta really do your research.
So how do we do that? How do we really dig deep here?
Well, that's where having a good commercial real estate broker, somebody who knows what they're doing, they can really help you out.
They're worth their weight in gold.
Right. 100%.
To help you navigate all this.
They can help you dig into those financials, look at the cap rate.
The cap rate, right.
Yeah.
Tells you what kind of return you're going to get.
Exactly. What about the leasehold? Right. What are the terms if there's already tenants there?
Right. You don't want to be surprised by any of that.
100%.
So it's like having a guide, right? When you're going into potentially dangerous territory, you want someone who knows the lay of the land.
That's right. A seasoned pro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But okay, you've done your due diligence. Yeah. You love the property. You're ready to go. You're ready to bid. Now things get real.
Now it's getting serious.
Right.
Now we're cooking. This is where the online auction really, really comes alive.
Because you've got real-time updates. You've got potentially hundreds of other investors all vying for the same property.
It's a digital bidding war.
Easy to get caught up in the moment.
It can get intense.
It's like eBay.
Right.
But with way more zeros at the end.
Way more on the line?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you keep a cool head?
That's why Adam talks about setting a bidding strategy.
Yeah.
Know what your limits are before you even think about raising that digital paddle.
So know your walkaway number, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're done,
100%.
that's it. When you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
You got to stick to your guns.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in that, just one more bid.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It really is.
Right. You can always find another deal.
You can.
There's always another property.
All right, so let's say you've kept your cool.
Right.
You've played your cards right, and you've won the auction.
Congratulations.
It's not over yet, though.
It's a big step, but it's not the finish line.
Not quite.
It's kind of like going under contract in a traditional real estate deal. You've still got to go through closing.
Right. You've got to dot your I's and cross your tits.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about due diligence, bidding, closing. It's a whole process.
It is.
You won the auction, though.
You've won.
Congratulations. Pop the champagne. Not so fast.
Not so fast, yeah.
What happens after you win?
All right, so winning the auction is kind of like when you're going under contract in a traditional real estate deal.
Okay.
It's a big step, but it's not the finish line. There's still a lot to do.
Like what?
Well, you got to go through closing, for one.
Right.
That's where all the lawyers come in, the contracts, all that fun stuff.
Making sure everything's legit.
Exactly. You don't want to celebrate too early and then find out there's some problem with the deed or something, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
Right. So better to be safe than sorry.
So you go through closing, all the paperwork signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours.
It's yours.
You're officially a real estate mogul, or at least on your way.
There you go, one step at a time, right?
But it's not always smooth sailing, right?
Well, that's the thing about online real estate auctions.
What's that?
It's not like a magic solution or anything.
Right. It has its pros and cons.
Exactly. There are advantages and disadvantages, like anything else.
So let's dig into that a little bit. What are some of the good things?
The good stuff, well, Adam talks about transparency.
Okay, transparency, what does that mean in this context?
So in a traditional real estate deal, you don't always know who else is interested in the property.
Right.
You don't know how much they're willing to pay. Could be some shady stuff going on.
Behind closed doors.
Exactly. But with online auctions, everybody sees the bids.
Oh, interesting.
It's all out in the open, levels the playing field a little bit.
No more secret offers.
No more secret offers, no more backroom deals.
I like it.
It's more democratic in a way, right?
I see that.
And then there's the speed, because these platforms are online. Things can move much quicker.
Okay.
So the whole buying and selling process is streamlined, potentially saving you time and money.
That's huge. Time is money, right?
Exactly. Everybody wins in that scenario.
Makes sense. But we got to talk about the downsides, too.
Right. We can't ignore those.
What are some of the things that Adam flags as potential red flags?
Well, we already talked about due diligence.
Right. Kicking the tires, so to speak.
Exactly. Those virtual tours can only show you so much.
Right. It's not the same as being there.
Exactly. And you're really relying on the information they give you online.
Trusting they're being upfront about everything.
Exactly. So you got to do your research. Always double check. Get your own people in there if you have to.
It's a lot of trust involved, even with the closing process and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you're buying a property you've never actually stepped foot in.
It's like online dating
Right.
profiles can be deceiving.
100%. Sometimes you just got to meet in person.
Or in this case, see the property in person.
Exactly. Brick and mortar. Got to see it to believe it sometimes.
Okay, so we've got that, the importance of really doing your homework.
Big one.
Anything else we should be aware of?
Well, since everything's online, you're relying on technology.
Right, and technology can be fickle.
To say the least, right? We've all had that moment where the internet crashes at the worst possible time.
Oh, the worst.
Now imagine that happening when you're in the middle of a bidding war.
Oh, no, that's stressful.
It can be a nightmare. So that's something to keep in mind. You're at the mercy of the tech gods a little bit.
Right, okay, so potential tech issues, thorough due diligence.
Yep.
Anything else our listeners should keep in mind?
One more thing.
Competition.
Okay, how so?
Well, online auctions, they open up the market to a lot more buyers.
Right, more people can participate.
Exactly, and that's great for sellers, but it can also mean things get very competitive.
Bidding wars.
Bidding wars, exactly. So you could end up paying way more than you planned.
It's a double-edged sword, then.
In a way, yeah, you could get a great deal, or you could get caught up in the frenzy and overpay.
So the bottom line is,
do your research, know the risks, and be prepared to walk away if things get too heated.
Solid advice as always. So we've covered a lot of ground today. Where does this leave our listeners?
Well, hopefully they're feeling a lot more informed about online real estate auctions.
That's the goal. They know how they work, the potential benefits, the risks. It's all out there now.
Knowledge is power, as they say.
100%. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned investor, this information is invaluable.
A huge thank you to Adam at Allies Commercial Realty for breaking it all down for us.
Absolutely. That blog post was spot on.
It really was. And for our listeners, remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
There's always more to learn.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and who knows, maybe you'll find your dream property with a few clicks and a well-placed bid.
You never know.
This is The Deep Dive. signing off.
Get in touch with Allies Commercial Realty at info@alliescommercialrealty.com to find your ally in commercial real estate.